Hi, so this interview is with Lucy Clifton, and they are a drama school student, a yoga teacher, and a YouTuber. When you think about it, the fact that they train at Rose Bruford, one of the top drama schools in the country, and also run a YouTube channel and teach yoga at the same time, it's really impressive stuff. And I learned a lot from this conversation, so I hope you enjoy. Hi, so today I'm joined with Lucy, who is a Rose Bruford student and previously did the East 15 Foundation, which are both really top schools. We'll want to ask you about that in a bit, but first I wanted to ask you about your gap years, because like many of us, you had to take gap years before you went. So I wanted to know how you made sure they were always productive and aligned with what you wanted to do.
So I think I learned a lot in my first gap year. I worked at M&S and I was trying to stay creative throughout the whole time that I was working there. But it's really hard when you're working a job all the time and then you just don't find the time for yourself. Like, it is hard. And so when I found out I didn't get into drama school for the following year, me and my best friend rang each other up and we were like, how are we going to make this year work for us where we don't find ourselves stagnant and like lost in just nothingness, like doing nothing that we love. I really didn't want to work again full time, and so we both said we want to move. Like, this was pre-COVID, so we were like, let's just move somewhere random and do something like that. And so her friend was au pairing in Paris or in France, I think, somewhere. And so we were like, maybe we could do that. I mean, Paris is really great with the Eurostar connection. So we were like, it would be easy to live there and to come back for auditions. So we just decided to do that, really spontaneously move. And we ended up au pairing together for like a month and a half. And then she left after that period and I stayed on. But it was the most amazing time. And I found so much creativity, but in different kind of ways that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't doing my acting because I think like doing self-tapes and applying for drama school it takes so much out of you, and you are constantly having to prepare stuff acting wise. So I guess I was acting in that sense, but I found so much more creativity in like language learning is so creative because like I was reading loads of stuff in French or like watching stuff, and that really made me so happy and it gave me a sense of purpose that I definitely needed. And it was just a new skill to add under my belt. And I was like writing a lot of poetry. I got into spirituality. I was doing a lot for myself and like discovering the world for myself. And that was probably like a key moment in my life that I'd done that. And like I think I really came into my being that year. And so I think just using your gap years as something to widen your general experience, like it doesn't even have to be anything to do with what you want to do in the future, but it can be just such an important time to take everything in the world and just like learn from everything, like it was a really amazing decision for me to be an au pair, and just change and shift where I lived to a different cultural space, and that really opened up so many different opportunities and doors for me. So yeah.
So you say it's changed your sense of being and it changed you a lot. So how do you feel like that's like influenced in any way your drama school process now you're actually there?
I think being in a different country, it makes you listen. Like, I had to spend so much time just listening to the people around me because I didn't know how to speak in their language. And so I was just listening all the time. And developing that sense of listening has made me so much more of a better actor. And it's what we're taught here. Like, training at Rose Bruford, all we've been taught to do this term is to listen and work off the other person. That's all the training is at the moment. And so all of the skills that I developed when I was au pairing to do with the language and absorbing and learning a language are so useful and transferable in every single way. And yeah, just like learning a language, just it gives you so many skills just within that. Like, you don't realize how many different things And it's so interesting. Like when I was doing it, when I was doing the audition process, I had just become such a different person than I was the year before. And I don't know what it was. I just think I was just a year older, a year with more experience, living a completely different story to what I was the year before. And I was living a life that made me really happy. Everything was really happy and joyful around me because I was learning so much, because I was so intellectually stimulated and curious about everything. It shifted me as a person. So in the audition process, I think I came off a lot better than I did the year before when I wasn't living in alignment with my truth.
Yeah, I think your positivity really comes across, and I'm sure that really helped in the audition process. And I've also seen your auditions that you filmed before East 15 and then after, and you've improved so much. Like the first ones were really good, and then like you had so many gains for your next one. So I was just wondering what you feel like had changed between then in within your acting.
Yeah. Um, at East 15, the foundation course is really, really amazing. I really enjoyed it. And I didn't feel like I was being massively pushed in the first few months of training. And I didn't feel like the training was hard in itself because it gave for a lot of like creative freedom, and it was more about meeting new people and just just engaging in that creativity again, which was really, really nice to exercise that and to do acting training again. But I didn't necessarily feel pushed, and I don't know what had shifted. I don't know what I picked up, but I think it's more the etiquette that they taught us about the audition process. Like um yeah, just how to introduce yourself, how to talk about yourself, how to present yourself, which I've always felt quite confident with my YouTube. But the skills classes that we had at E15 on the foundation, like voice and movement, they really taught you how to be as an ensemble member, because before I think it was very much focused on the self, on the individual, and kind of, beating the competition. But then after that year, I learned that the better I am with the others in the room, and the more giving and generous I can be to others, that the higher chance I'm likely to succeed, because I'm pulling all of the others up around me. And that is exactly what they obviously want from an ensemble member, because you're going to be part of a company and like a group of people that want to feel like a family. And so if you're not a generous and giving person in the space, then they wouldn't want you. So I think that is the main thing that I learned, just like, yeah, just how to be in a space with others and how to connect, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's really good because quite often people can just act and make it all about themselves, and it can feel
Mm.
quite competitive, but I think that's really nice that you've managed to find that sense of ensemble. I wanted to ask you also about other things that you do other than acting, because another thing is that it can be quite hard to put your whole self into acting when that's all that you've got on, and that can be quite difficult. And I know you do your yoga, I know you do your YouTube, so I was just wondering how you manage to balance acting with everything else.
Yeah, it is quite hard. I feel like I do a lot of things with my time, like probably too much. um, but I love having lots of different avenues for like my creativity and exploration. The main thing I do is yoga. I do it, it's my daily practice. It's like a lifestyle more than just a thing that I do in the mornings or whatever. I did my yoga teacher training in the summer, so during August in India. And since then, my best friend and I launched a business, and then also we like separately teach around studios around London and local to where we live. So that's really fun. I'm teaching a yoga class tomorrow, actually, tomorrow evening. And yeah, it just makes me really, really happy because it's something that actually in every single lesson almost we incorporate ideas or actually do the practice of yoga in literally all of the classes at Rose Bruford. Because yoga is such an important tool just in general, but especially for actors, because you need that sense of grounding. It's a great warm up. It's great to connect the mind and body. Like it's all about unity of everything. And so it's such a great tool for actors. And so when I was auditioning last year and the year that I got into Rose Bruford now, I didn't know if I was going to get in, and we were like waiting to hear, and we were like, what can we do if we don't get in? Because I can't go from doing a foundation to not doing anything. I want to still live in London. I don't know what else I could possibly do apart from this. Like it felt like going to drama school was the right thing to do next, but if it wasn't, then what was I going to do? What did like the world need to teach me? And so I thought about all of the other things that I loved, and yoga was the first thing that sprung to mind. And I was like, I need to do my teacher training. I need to make this like my priority. We're going to make a business and stuff like that. So we knew that that was like in our path next, regardless of whether we went to drama school or not. It was such a good contingency plan because it worked whatever happened. And so yeah, so I'm continuing doing that like throughout my drama school training, which is really beautiful, because hopefully next term as well we're going to be teaching classes at school to everyone. So
that's
yeah.
really cool. I wanted to ask, do you think that yoga was like the main route that you thought you were going to go down, other than acting as like a side job, or was there any other things that you considered doing?
Well, I never had a plan B throughout my entire life. Like I always knew that I was going to be an actor. I always knew. And it was only when I was applying this year for drama school that I was like, what can I do apart from acting if I really, really need to? And I know that I will do acting. Like I knew regardless of what happened that I would still do acting. It's just I knew that I needed another stream, because even if you make it as an actor, every actor has another stream of income. And so I think from that point I realized how important yoga was to me. I don't think I had actually clicked before that it was really that important. I thought about doing the teacher training before, but I wasn't too sure about it because I didn't know if I was good enough, which is a stupid thing. But then me and Karis, my best friend, did it together. So we really motivated each other, and it was nice to have someone to ground me into that belief that we are going to do it. We are good enough regardless. We're going to do the training so that we do get good enough. And then as soon as we did it, it just took off from there. And I think I can't see yoga as not being in my life anymore. Like I think it will always be part of my life, regardless of whether I'm an actor or not. I'll always want to teach it. I'll always want to do classes, and I'll always want to do it as my personal practice as well. So, yeah.
I think that's really nice that you've got a good balance of different things that you do. I really like that you share your journey on your YouTube as well. I think that probably helps out a lot of people as well to see what their options are. So I just wanted to ask if you have anything you'd like to share about your YouTube, anything else that you might want to promote where people can find you and your work.
Yeah, I think my YouTube is my main source, and maybe Instagram as well. I love sharing like my more like photography and like writing on Instagram. That's like, I don't know, that makes me really happy to do. I love taking photos of everything, and I love writing. Like I'm always on my notes app like journaling about little things and like little scraps of poetry that come to my brain. But my YouTube is like where I document all my most like beautiful moments that I live, and also just some like whatever truth I'm experiencing in the moment. And I think before I'd been like doing a lot of traveling, like I au paired in Paris, so I was doing a lot of videos in Paris, and that's where I've got like most of my subscribers from, so that's really special to me. But also I've completely shifted my life now, and I think I'm really grounded. Like I've got a home in London now, and I'm going to drama school, and I'll be here for the next 3 years. So I think my channel's kind of shifting at the moment, and I'm going to be doing like a lot more drama school videos, but a lot more, I kind of want to edit less and just make it more truthful, you know, because I think I'm experiencing a lot of things within me at the moment, and like it's a really nice place where I can just authentically express how I'm feeling, and I don't need to change or cover up anything. And I've never really felt that I needed to, but I think it's easy on social media to present yourself in a certain way when it's not necessarily like that. But I think YouTube is definitely the most safest place where I can be my most authentic self and just share however I'm feeling. And like it's really nice to attract a community as well that receive that, and also who are so alike to me. Like every message from people that I receive, like everyone is just the same as me, and that's really special to me, which is so lovely to have a community like that.
I think that's really nice, and I think it's really nice as well that you're trying to make it more authentic, because although it's video, I feel like it's still easy to hide stuff and hide certain elements of your life, which obviously you have to do a little bit, but it's not always easy for people to tell how much you're actually hiding. So I think that's really important that you're sharing a certain level with people, so people can feel less alone in whatever they're going through.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate you having the time to share what you've shared with me. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was lovely to talk to you.
So I'd like to say thank you so much to Lucy for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. All of their links will be in the description, and I'd also like to wish them all the best with their degree. I'm sure they're going to absolutely smash it and smash their career after they graduate. And also thank you so much to everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the interview, and maybe I'll see you in another interview I do in the future. Thank you. Bye.